Good morning. So this week I wanted to give my first try at making a production breakdown type video. So I just had my first release on a record label come out on the weekend, which was a song called My Love. It was a bit of a new sound for me, so I'm gonna kind of dive into that and do my best to show you how I made it, mostly. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, let's get rid of that. Chuck these on. Alright, so this is Welcome to My Love. It has 87 tracks, and yes, this is kind of, just play the tune a bit. Okay, so let's begin. Let's start with the kick. So we have here, I get most of the kind of drums and stuff, samples like that off Splice. Like that's kind of the easiest way to do it. I do have this other big sample pack that I kind of get from occasionally, but this one's from Splice, I believe. So a super punchy kick. If you look here, heaps of front end, I think was really good because it's quite a fast song. Real progressive house, trancey sort of thing. And yeah, got a little double kick there, just to kind of spice it up a little. I always do a little break back into it sort of thing. And then with the bass, I think a lot of this project is actually just Servant, to be honest. I don't think it's very good to always do that, but I think in this specific project it worked fairly well. So to start, there is a sub bass, which is kind of that classic offbeat sort of thing. It could have just been that with the kick, honestly, but that's a bit boring, so we added in some kind of mid-range bass. So this one I kind of like here kind of cut out to like around 200, because then the sub bass is usually sitting in down here. And also this is kind of like a top bass, this one, to add a bit of height to it. That's mostly to top frequencies. Cut out the low, of course, for the other one. I think this is another, yeah, just kind of another little sound on the top there. Yeah, low cut, all that jazz, all together. It's pretty sick. Yeah, I think this is kind of your sort of classic rolling sort of sound. Yeah, so tight pluck, your saw wave, a bit of reverb, a bit of delay, and then yeah, I have it in a group, so then I can have just kind of this main EQ over the top. There's nothing actually on it, it's just kind of for when I want to just do like the automation, the high cuts and low cuts, just do it to the whole thing, which is handy. And alright, so yeah, that's the kick and the bass. Okay, now for the drums, start off with this just little clap. Yeah, just a standy sort of clap thing, low cut, just to make sure there's no little bass frequencies in there. Then we have just this little kind of 16th hat pattern thing. This one, you know, because I kind of bring the velocity of this first one down, so it's kind of more of a sort of, rather than just a straight one thing the whole time. And then main top hat. And yeah, all of these I take out the low end, as you can see, just to be sure, because like there's probably not any, but just to be sure. And then it's kind of a bunch of sort of loops, a little shaker, bit of atmosphere on that one. A bit of a tom loop, which is kind of nice, just for a bit of groove. I did put sidechain on this one, just because that first hit would interfere with the kick and bass a little bit, even though I have taken most of the bass out of it. And then that main that's it was quite a so the EQ on that one as well. So together, that's all. Pretty simple drum loop. I also had a little bus go into it, which has some reverb on there. Just a little bit. Without it, it's a little bit dry. Add that little extra bit of, you know. Also, if you haven't done this before, I highly recommend just instead of whacking your reverb or delay plugin straight onto your channel, do a little bus thing here. So you go bus, map it to the bus, and that'll turn up over here, and then you put the plugin on here, and that makes it so you can adjust this little dial here to kind of just add as much little as you want, and you can also automate that, which is pretty handy. So what we've got so far all together sound like this. So now we're kind of getting into all of the like super melodic sounds, which all kind of follow the sort of main chord structure that I made here. We're in A minor, so it was pretty easy to make because it's literally just all of the white keys. Like, yeah, A minor, super easy to write in if you're musically illiterate like me. So we have this, have this little ARP, which is, I'm pretty sure this one kind of opens up over time. Yeah, over here. Look at the automation, goes up here. That's just a serum sound again. But yeah, you'll see the automation is opening up the filter here. Just gonna go. Yeah, it's fairly simple to do. If you don't know how to do automation, you just come down here and then you go serum 2, filter 1, and it's the frequency which goes that way, and then you just do the drive, which is kind of like the up and down sort of thing. There's so much automation you can do with serum. I've barely scratched the surface in that regard. What's we got here? It's a fairly simple pad. This is just kind of a basic one that I have, my own preset. Yeah, just saw wave, heaps unison. I think I just make this open and close slightly with this. It doesn't do too much, but just adds a little more life to it. So with that, that's the start. And then we have here another pad, which is just just a preset that I found, which I thought was quite nice. Next up, we have some more pads. So we have this other one here. I really like these high pads. It's quite cool. Again, just another preset that I made a few adjustments to. Nothing too crazy. This one. Yes, this one's quite cool. I love this. It works so well on this song. Just like, you can barely hear it most of the time, but it just gives it something, man. I don't know how on earth they made this, but it's sick. That's the breakdown. And that's everything for those main sort of pads. Ah yes, up here. Okay, it's all the synth sounds. I forgot how big this is. Okay, so I think originally I was gonna have this sound more prominent, but it kind of ended up taking a sort of back seat in the mix, which is, kind of cool. And then we have that main which is made up of 3 layers. If we see here, this one, I was kind of mucking around with this plugin on Massive X. Yes, that's right. Pardon me. It doesn't do a whole lot, but it's gonna, you know. And then, oh yes, an Arcando preset. Drum and bass lovers will know that guy. I've used a lot of his presets. They're really good, even though they're made for drum and bass. And then the main bit is this here. Yes, this is kind of what I mean, like, I could not do all of this, but I'm pretty sure the original preset was much shorter. Yeah, something like that, and then I just kind of like stretch this right out, as well as this one. I probably played around with the filter a bit to make this, and then that goes with these other two. Yeah, now looking back at this, I probably could have put a bit more reverb on those, but that's okay. Like Chris Lake said, you never truly finish a song, you just stop working on it. Anyway, okay, yes, I made this little riser. This is a trick that I picked up from, what's his name? John Summit. So I got this. This is literally that sound that I just showed you before, but it's just with one note, and then you open up the little automation here, and it should be in the pitch bend. Yes. So you got to go over to Serum and make sure that down here these are set to like quite high up. It's not going to affect the sound initially, but until you start using this pitch bend thing, start slow, bend. Which is really cool. You make your own little custom riser that just fits into your song because the sound's already there. And then have more of these sounds on the drop. Just interesting. I still have no idea what that means. And we also have this. I think that's the same thing as, yeah, this plugin. Not too sure what any of that means, but the sound's kind of cool, so that's alright. And then we also have the, what I like to call the BOW synth. So this is quite a cool one that I kind of like to use a lot. So you take out the low end compressor and then a bit of a pump feeling, and then pretty sure it's just a bunch of reverb on there. This is free, by the way. Highly recommend. It's a really good reverb that is free because I have no money. Yeah, I think that's the bulk of it. Oh yeah, we have a few kind of, just your little effects and that. We have these sort of things, a big old white noise, that, another little, all of those go together quite nicely. And then, yes, we have the little, what's it called? I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Tom thing. Okay, anyway, let's get to, oh yeah, and I have a bunch of these little kind of air candy things which are quite nice. Yeah, those little sprinkles in there. And then, okay, so vocals. Let's take a look at this. To start off, we have this is a vocal that I bought, I think, off, what's the website called? Or no, that's the I can't remember what website it is. Yeah, so it gives you like every little stem. It gives you these little kind of hits, which is cool. Vocal ambience, and yeah, and then it gives you the main vocal. It also gives it like split up into all of the thingies, like all the different takes and stuff. But I just kind of decided to use the main thing because I liked how that already sounded. So yeah, that's it. Without any effects. Kind of still sounds like it has reverb because of the vocal influence. Pardon me. Okay, have the reverb, which is this plugin. Delay. This is a really good delay if you're using Logic. It has these bits. And then I think, yes, so here's where I mean by the automation from these little bus thingies. I use them most of the time in the vocals. So over here, going up, it's more and more, so going up. And then that's the drop there, which is, yeah, it's pretty cool. Kind of helps the build up really kind of get going, I suppose. So that's pretty much it, I think. Yeah, kind of have the little kick build ups too in there, just kind of standy stuff. I think I took out slightly more bass on the build up ones. Yeah, I think I did, just so that it doesn't kind of like, what's the word, when it's building up and it's the same kick as the drop, it just doesn't feel quite as impactful when that kick off the drop comes in. So you take a bit of bass out of the build up kick so that the main kick still feels really hard, if you know what I mean. Oh, I also did this cool little thing on the first drop, which is this part, which is a little reverse kick. I've seen a few people do. So there's this little guy, which is like the kick, you freeze it by doing the bounce in place, and then it turns up here, and then you just click reverse, and then it's reversed. And then obviously you got to take out that click at the start of the kick, which is start the end of the kick, just because of the way that sounds a bit weird. So it just kind of like rolls into the which I thought suited fairly well. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much everything in the song. And then it was just kind of the arrangement, which I just kind of used a few reference tracks for the kind of way the song was arranged out. Oh, also white noise and drop. You'd be crazy not to. Yeah, it has a bunch of reverb on it too. Oh yeah, just slap that straight on there. Good stuff. Yeah, so it kind of, I guess for the arrangement, it's sort of just starts off just the basic, and it has the vocal ambulance in the background, kind of establishes the song, the initial vibe, if you know what I mean. And then this is the extended mix, by the way. This is not on Spotify. It's slightly different on Spotify because it's the radio version. Yeah, so then the bass kicks in, a few of the melodic elements, and then that initial bit of vocal with more of the pads. So that's probably where I would mix it in, with the bass swap part, and then it's just like, whoo, and everyone is just like, ooh, you know? kind of the build-up kick I showed you before, and then just a few other hi-hats. Yeah, one of the base things is the automation of the, because you kind of want to be taking out bass frequencies as the build-up's going on, because otherwise it can get a bit mucky and the drop doesn't sound as good. So it's kind of, yeah, taking that out a little bit. Yeah, and then kind of all the pads come back in. Oops, sorry. Yeah, and then breaks down. Kind of just goes through. Change up what you're using up in here a little bit. Then some drums in. That little backing thing. And then the kind of take a lot of the stuff out here, and then it goes to build up. Got a little riser. Oh, computer does not like that. And yeah, that is My Love, by far. Out now on Let 'Em Cook Records. I always say that. Out now on Let 'Em Cook Records. Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this turns out alright, because I'm actually in a bit of a time crunch. If you saw last week's video, you saw that my windows got completely smashed, and I'm going to get those fixed in like an hour. So, yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, mate.